So I thought I'd do a quick tour of the shop as is when I took over. Hopefully I will be able to make some changes and get organised going forward. You'll see as we go round there is pretty much stuff piled up everywhere, so I've got a bit of a job on my hands to try and get things tidy. So I'm stood by the front door at the moment, so this is kind of the view that you see as you come into the shop. I'll just pan round. You can see it's a pretty small shop. We have a big table in the middle that the classes sit round when there are people here, and then the walls are obviously crammed full of storage units packed to the gills with yarn, and then we come round to the front of the shop and into the window. At the moment there's not really a display as such in the window, but obviously I will also try and rectify that. If I step back a bit, you can see the front door there with the bunting, knitted bunting hanging off. So yeah, as you come in, we've got a wall full of buttons and bits and pieces. There's a few kits hanging around. Oh, you can see my feet in the mirror there. And underneath the buttons there's a basket full of sock yarn that's all crammed in, so I need to do something about that. And underneath that basket is also another sort of storage unit which has got lots of folders with single patterns and things in, so again I need to do something about that so that's accessible. There's a display cabinet. At the moment it's got a few mugs and crochet hooks and needle hook sets. Again, it's not very organised, so I need to crack on and do something about that. As we go along, we've got our first set of cubbies. This is mainly yarns like Sirdar, Wendy. There's some Paytons and also some Sublime in that. And above that, obviously, we've got some bags of the spare yarns that aren't on in the cubbies. And then we've got the counter, which, as you can see, under the counter, it's a bit disorganised. There are boxes full of yarn under there, and the counter itself. Well, if you can see that, then you're a better man or woman than I, because as you can see, it's pretty full of stuff. So we've got a few sewing threads and some ribbons. Obviously, cash register. Well, don't even know what that big old mess is there. Well, I do. More yarns. There's also the if I can put my finger in here, that's all the sort of trade books, so all the shade cards and things like that. And on the shelves above there are some pattern books. Some are current, sort of spare copies of ones that we don't have out and about on the shop floor, but there's also some older books up there, so I'll probably need to have a sort out of those at some point. Then spinning round to the back wall, we have all of the Rowan yarns that we have. You may know that Rowan have done a big exercise of rebranding recently, so they've cut back on a lot of their core yarns, so some of these yarns are actually now discontinued. So over the next few months I will see what I can do to maybe wheedle some of those out, so we can get obviously a good stock of the current yarns. Again, above there we've got bags of yarn that doesn't fit in the cubbies. In this corner are all the knitting needles. There's also a big old mess on the floor, spare chairs. Again, there's some more pattern books shoved down in the corner, and who knows what else, so that's also on the to tidy list. Spinning round from that, in this sort of set of cubbies here, we've got lots of Debbie Bliss yarns, and there's also some Norro. As you can see, there's also a few cubbies full of pattern books that need organising. And oh, if I just give you a quick look on the floor, you can also see there's a big old pile of books down there that need sorting out. So going along this last side wall, we've got crochet hooks, there's some pom-pom makers and some odd bits and pieces. So again, I need to get that sorted out. And finally, in the last set of cubbies, there's some more sock yarn. We've also got some Mirasol and Adrophil, and some of my favourite yarns in the store. We've got some absolutely gorgeous BFL woolly net, nice British yarn there, and also I love this one too, which is the Wendy Ramsdale. Again, nice British 100% wool yarn. And then we're back round to the window. I should show you. Big old mess on the floor again down there. There's also tray of buttons, individual buttons, and more piles of yarn and patterns. So yeah, that's it for front of house. I'll also give you a quick peek backstage, as it were. So yeah, bear with me and I shall pop back in a second. Coming behind the counter, I think you saw where the cash register was from the front of store. We've got that big old yarn pile here. We have to squeeze down the corridor here, and again, tons and tons of spare yarn. Oops, on the shelves here. The corridor's so narrow, I can not really going to be able to show you exactly the piles and piles of yarn in there. But now we're into the office slash kitchen, and oh my god, I don't know if I want to show you this, but here we go. There is a desk under there somewhere. Don't ask me where. This here apparently is a whole bunch of yarn that customers have put by to be collected as and when they need it. So I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. And then round we have got more yarn. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm laughing because, well, I have to really, don't I? And then round to the sink area. Sorry if I'm spinning you around too fast. I hope I'm not making anyone seasick. I'm back out in the tiny corridor. More yarn. And then we go back to the very back of the shop. More yarn in the alcove and some books. And then through the door into the final sort of back room. It's a bit dingy, so let me just flick the light on. So yeah, we've got sink, more yarn under the sink. I know. And then more yarn shoved. There's yarn as far as the eye can see, shoved everywhere. And then that final door is the loo. Don't think you need to see in there. But yeah, that's the state of things as is. As you can see, it's probably going to take me a while to get things organised. So yeah, today the fun begins, and I'm sure I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now, guys.